The new president of Mexico just elected a woman named Claudia Sheinbaum. Now, Claudia Sheinbaum, I mean, it's sort of amazing, right? Because it's Mexico and they elected a woman and a Jewish woman at that. So most of the headlines are going on and on about how great this is, how enlightened Mexico is. Let me just tell you, Claudia Sheinbaum is a problem for the Mexico economy and therefore for us, right? Because we share a border with Mexico. And this is a woman who's sponsored by the WEF, World Economic Forum. They love her. They love her over there. We'll get to that in a second, and I'll tell you why they love her. But she's somebody who thinks like them, right? Super duper lefty. She's given out all kinds of freebies to everybody in Mexico. They're calling her the FDR, maybe, of Mexico. This is what she's promising. She's following in Obrador's footsteps and then some. So while he was conservative on energy and believed in nat gas and drilling, et cetera, she's actually a scientist by background, a big believer in green energy, you know, the WEF sponsorship, et cetera. So she's all about environmental stuff. On top of that, she's all about this redistribution of wealth and all about these sort of social issues like gender stuff, et cetera, which we will also get into momentarily. But I just want to give you the headline that the peso has been tumbling. Like immediately on the news that she was elected, it fell some 3%. You had the stock market there in Mexico tumbling on news that Claudia was elected. Why? Because people recognize that if you have a really lefty society where, by the way, the president actually has said that she believes in porous borders, then you're going to have a problem vis-a-vis the United States, right? How are we going to conduct trade with them? How are we going to manage this border situation? And you wonder, if Joe Biden coming out one day after Mexico elects this woman who believes in a porous border system, if it has anything to do with that. Now, he did go online on Twitter and wished her well and said, congratulations to Claudia Sheinbaum, et cetera, new president of Mexico. But he's got to be sitting there going, wow, all right, you know, if it's bad now, it's going to get worse because she is a big believer in porous borders, which means she's going to do nothing, literally zip zero nada. A little Spanish reference there, to do anything to actually address the border problem. And unless he's willing to play tough, like, you know, Trump was, where he'd say, you know what, you're not going to get that deal. I'm going to take away that trade deal because you're not doing enough to actually secure the border. We want you to pay for it. She's not going to have any part of that. So that means the poorest border president in Mexico is actually going to increase the problem that the United States and the border states are facing right now. When I say she's really lefty and she's really liberal, I just want to point this out. When she became mayor of Mexico City, Claudia Sheinbaum's first thing, like first order of business, was to make sure that she had gender neutral uniforms for all the students in school. You see, if you go to public school in Mexico, you have to wear a uniform. And she said, and I quote, something about how the days of girls wearing skirts and boys wearing pants are over. Here we go. Children who attend. Oh, and the World Economic Forum was so proud of her. They ran a whole special story on it. Children who attend state-run schools in Mexico City will no longer have to abide by gender-specific dress code for their school uniforms, government officials announced on Monday. This would have been in 2019 when she was elected. So she is the new left-wing mayor that was coming into Mexico City at the time, announced a new gender-neutral uniform policy during a press conference at a local school in the city. Quote, the era when girls had to wear skirt and boys had to wear trousers has been left behind. I think that's passed into history. Boys can wear skirts if they want, and girls can wear pants if they want. The new policy will take effect immediately. This was a Reuters report that got posted on the World Economic Forum website. This is according to the Mexican Education Ministry, later said in a tweet. And somehow she wound up president. Okay, so Joe Biden couldn't move fast enough on the immigration front. Now could he? Quick shout out to one of our great sponsors over at American Heart for Gold. Trish Loves Gold is the URL that you need to remember, everyone. You know, as we look at the chaos that's going on in the world and we look at even sort of the peso versus the dollar, the peso had been actually holding up miraculously via the dollar, had been doing better than some currencies because the dollar has actually been relatively strong only because we are the prettiest girl at the dance. It's not a group of lookers. Anyway, gold is one of the things that people are turning to all over the world. Central banks all over the world. And so I encourage you to look at it as part of a well-diversified portfolio. I'm not your financial advisor, although some of you subscribe to 76 Research and we have a lot of great ideas for you there. But one of the ideas that we do include a lot is gold. Gold and silver, actually, because precious metals are something to keep an eye on in terms of helping to, balance out, if you would, a portfolio. I encourage you to look at it. And when you do, call my friends over at American Hartford Gold. There's a special offer. Friends of the show can get up to $15,000 in free silver when you sign up with them. So $15,000 potentially in free silver with one of their deals if you call 1-844-495-1115 and you use my name, or you can text my name, Trish, to 65532, or go to that Trish Loves Gold, which I get a kick out of. That URL, Trish Loves Gold. You can't forget it, right? .com. Go check that out. Look at getting up to $15,000 in free silver. I think it's an important part of a well-diversified portfolio. I really do mean that.